Try to get the two balls at once.
Have you ever really thought about what teenagers really go through? What is circling around and around in their head, and if they're mentally and physically okay? Today, I would like to take the opportunity to help you understand what teenagers really go through, because teenagers are really good at hiding their emotions. As I continue, we will discuss why teenagers' feelings and mental health need to be checked on regularly. First, I would like to tell you how emotions have a big effect on teenagers. Emotions themselves are quite different based on the individual. If children get too overwhelmed with emotions, they will start to associate anxiety and shame with their emotions. A few basic things about emotions are, first, emotions can easily come and go. Most of us feel many different emotions throughout the day. Some last just a few seconds, and others can linger into a terrible mood. Second, emotions can be mild, intense, or anywhere in between. The intensity of an emotion can depend on the situation and the individual. And lastly, there are no good emotions or bad, but there are good in ways of expressing them. Next, I'm going to describe to you what emotions can do to teenagers. Adolescent emotional development is often characterized by rapidly fluctuating intense emotions. Teens are experiencing changing hormones and increased stressors. At the same time, while there is initial development in the brain regions linked with emotional reactivity, there is slower development in brain structures linked with emotional regulation. If teenagers hide all their emotions inside, it can profoundly affect them after a while. Teenagers like to bottle everything up till they cannot handle it anymore. Then, their emotions can get out of hand. Emotions can later turn into a snowball effect. They just keep building up until eventually they become just as big. Emotions not only affect the individual, but can also affect the people around them. Now, I'll be telling you how emotions affect us. Emotions have an influence on the cognitive process on humans, including perception, attention, learning, memory, reasoning, and problem solving. Poorly managed negative emotions are not good for your health. Negative attitudes and feelings of helplessness and hopelessness can create chronic stress. Chronic stress is a consistent sense of feeling pressured and overwhelmed over an extended period of time. It can be caused by everyday pressures such as family, work, or traumatic events. Next, I will tell you why teenagers need to be checked on regularly. Having anxiety and strong emotions for an extended period of time can cause mental health problems at an early age. Infant children to even middle-aged children, individuals need annual checkups because there can always be underlying symptoms that you do not know of. Just because someone is not showing symptoms doesn't mean they don't have any. Not all conditions show symptoms. So, annual checkups, whether it's for mental health, a sickness, or even your physical condition, can uncover these underlying conditions. Now, on to the parents. These are some ways that parents can help their teenagers open up. Many teenagers struggle to willingly open up to their parents. Because of that, parents need to find ways to encourage their children to share their feelings. Teens often feel attacked or vulnerable when sharing their emotions. Parents need to create a bond of trust. To help that, they should serve as a role model and should also open up about their feelings. When they do this lets the individual know, hey, I can open up about my feelings. Another way to help your teenagers open up is to make them feel comfortable. Talk to them. A final way to help your teenagers is to maybe encourage them to visit another source, such as a guidance counselor or mental health therapist. Finally, I'm going to discuss with you the number of teens struggling today. Do you know the percentage of how many children are struggling with anxiety or depression? Well, an estimated 31.9% of adolescents have an anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders can cause rapid heart rate, palpitations, or even chest pain. It can also put you at high risk of high blood pressure. For depression, about 20% of teens experience depression before adulthood. Untreated depression is a severe problem. Untreated depression also increases the chance of risky behaviors such as drugs and alcohol addiction. In conclusion, today I've discussed with you what goes on in teenagers' lives and why they need to be checked on. We discussed what emotions can do, how they affect us, and why they need to be maintained. I hope now, since we discussed all the dangers caused by emotions, anxiety, and depression, that you will be able to recognize it when you see it in teenagers.